Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Reflux Revolution podcast. My name is Molly Pelletier, registered dietitian and specialist in reflux, digestive health, GERD, LPR, also the founder of Flora Nutrition, and a former GERD sufferer for over a decade. I have been where you are. I know what it's like after years of struggling with reflux symptoms and feeling overwhelmed by conflicting advice, so I made it my life's mission to help you find real, long-lasting relief. In this podcast, we are cutting through the noise, providing practical, evidence-based strategies to help you understand and manage your reflux with confidence. So let's dive in. But first, a quick disclaimer. This information shared on the Reflux Revolution podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose, treat, or cure any medical condition. Your body is unique and your care should be too. I want to kick off today's topic, which is simplifying your diet for GERD and IBS. Nutrition tips for better gut health with a little story from one of my clients. We'll call him Ben. Ben came to me feeling super overwhelmed with food. He had been told to avoid dairy, gluten, fiber, spicy foods, acidic food, chocolate, caffeine, alcohol, you name it. He was told to avoid it. And what's frustrating about that is when you have both GERD and IBS, often doctors or well-meaning healthcare professionals will hand you a list of foods and tell you to avoid these foods without any other guidance. And that's sometimes helpful to pause certain things so our tissues can heal, so inflammation can go down, but it's really not like a great long-term approach. And it can cause a whole lot of anxiety around food. So this is what's happening for Ben right now. Like he's just so anxious about what to eat that his meals are just getting smaller and smaller. His list of safe foods is getting smaller and smaller. And he's finding himself losing weight. He is, nutrient deficient and really struggling with what to eat. So he was trying to do the right thing, but he wasn't feeling better. And what I said to him is, let's just simplify. Let's just simplify our meals and let's baseline ensure that you're getting enough nutrition so your body can actually digest your food. The issue with getting so restrictive is that our body now is potentially lacking essential nutrients, micro and macronutrients that your body needs to digest and function well. And then that just perpetuates the digestive issue. Plus, it creates a whole lot of anxiety and disconnection, not being able to go to family events and not being able to eat out. So there's a whole lot of, disconnection and isolation. And then, of course, food anxiety. So it's this trifecta of discomfort and just lack of progress when our diet gets too restrictive. So if you're dealing with both GERD and IBS, the really important thing is to slow down and really understand that the most restrictive diet doesn't mean that's the best diet for you. So why simplifying nutrition helps with GERD and IBS is because sometimes it gets so chaotic and confusing that we lose sight of these basic nutrition principles that we should be incorporating. And these basic nutrition principles that can really help our gut health thrive and ultimately help us overcome these conditions. When we simplify nutrition, we can also reduce stress around food and make your meals a little bit more predictable for your digestive system. Your body loves rhythm and routine. So this is a great place to start so your body can start to feel safe again and get the nutrients that it needs. So here are my top tips for diet simplification for gut health when you're dealing with IBS and GERD or reflux. Tip number 1 is to build a balanced, gentle meal structure. So the meal formula that we often give our clients is protein, carb, and plant. These things your meal should contain, even if we're kind of shifting around the types of plants we're having, but each meal should have a protein, carb, and a plant. It's also missing one thing though, healthy fats. Healthy fats are going to help with lubrication through your digestive tract. They're going to help your vitamins and minerals absorb. But healthy fats often come in the cooking method when we're sauteing in olive oil or we're roasting in olive oil or whatever, avocado oil, whatever oil you're using. This often does come in the cooking method. So not one that we have to think about as much because there also might be a little bit of fat in your protein, but we need all of these things. So your carbohydrates get a really bad rep in the social media world, but your body needs carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are so important for your motility. They contain fiber if you choose the right ones, and they can really help with your overall digestive function. So thinking about this as potato, white or sweet potato or purple potato, rice, quinoa, sourdough toast, even, whole grain crackers, like whatever you can grab for your carbohydrate. And then we need our protein. So your gut is actually smooth muscle. And so we need to get enough protein to not only support your gut as a muscle, but protein is also the building blocks of your digestive enzymes. So enough protein is critical. So this is your chicken, shrimp, salmon, tofu, turkey, chicken thigh, soft-boiled eggs, whatever you like, chickpeas. This is your protein, and we need this for your body. It delivers so much essential vitamins and amino acids. And then, of course, our plants. Our plants are what is going to help your body get more fiber to help move stool through the body, help to lift up healthy microbes in your gut microbiome. And we can even, if you're struggling with a lot of bloating, a lot of digestive issues from an IBS standpoint, maybe we're focusing on more low FODMAP types of plants in this beginning stage of your journey. So maybe you're focusing more on green beans, carrots, bok choy, spinach, arugula. These things are going to be a little bit easier to digest versus like a ton of Brussels sprouts or cauliflower that might be a little bit more gas producing. But if you love those foods, it's also okay to mix them. So maybe you have just a couple florets of cauliflower with your zucchini, with your green beans, so that you're still getting that diversity, but you're just not having a whole bowl of cauliflower. And then, of course, our healthy fat will come in either in a little tahini dressing or in a drizzle of olive oil. And this is really helpful for satiety and your gut lining. So thinking about that simple meal formula can really help simplify things. And then when we're thinking about your plants, sometimes if you're in a little bit of a flare, maybe we're thinking of more cooked produce versus raw, and thinking about having this balance of these three components also helps you avoid having these massive, large, raw salads that might be a little bit harder for you to digest. Tip number 2 is just to eat consistently and avoid skipping meals. I know it can be so tempting to fast, especially when you're hearing all this stuff about intermittent fasting on social media. I actually do a video about intermittent fasting on my YouTube channel that you can go check out if you want to learn more about my experience with intermittent fasting and my thoughts on it for GERD. But when it comes to IBS and reflux, your meal consistency is actually really important. It can be tempting when you're not feeling well too to skip meals, but this actually slows down your motility, slows down your digestion, and can really be harmful to your digestive system, especially because we end up in this like yo-yo cycle where you're skipping meals and then starving and overeating and just too much food at one time. Smaller, more frequent meals is less to digest at one time, and also much better for reflux. So thinking about 3 meals plus 1 to 2 snacks is a really nice cadence for your body, and thinking about eating your larger meals earlier in the day is actually really, really supportive for both GERD and IBS. So not saving all of your food for dinner and having a good breakfast, a good lunch, maybe an afternoon snack, and then a dinner can be a nice pattern for a lot of people. Tip number 3 is to imagine you're a plant. Carry your water bottle with you throughout the day and sip, sip, sip. Just hydrate throughout the day. Sip, sip, sip in between meals, and don't drink all your fluids with your meals. So this is really important for those with IBS because we want your digestive enzymes to really break down your food and help get that digestive process going so that we can prevent digestive symptoms. And this is really important for those with GERD because we don't want to have a ton of fluid in your stomach when you're eating. It just puts too much pressure on your lower esophageal sphincter. So really remembering to hydrate outside of your meals is so key. And I'm so guilty of this, just like totally getting busy and forgetting to hydrate. But it's so important too to just give your body that cleansing, supportive hydration. And then hydrating well is going to help you prevent constipation. Constipation is a major underlying root cause of so many issues. Like 99% of the time, I won't say 99, but a huge percentage of people with bloating are actually really dealing with underlying constipation. So getting enough hydration, getting enough nutrition is actually so underrated for bloating and constipation. So sip, sip, sip. Between meals, you can have some water with meals, but I just wouldn't drink all of your water during your meal times or a ton of water during your meals. Tip number 4, choose clarity over complexity. And this is where remember Ben, where he made his biggest breakthrough with me. And we stopped jumping from one restrictive diet to the next and looking for he was always looking for the next supplement or next diet that was going to help him. And instead, we just created a nutrition plan, and stuck with it. And this gave him a sense of clarity. This gave him a sense of control so that he could actually turn down the anxiety about food and be able to focus on other things in his life. He was able to focus on implementing daily nervous system support, daily meditation. He was able to hang out more with his daughter and be really present in those moments of connection, which is healing. Connection is so healing. So having a plan and focusing on clarity really gave him a whole lot of confidence. He also stopped Googling every symptom, Googling every diet, and that really helped too, because we know that Googling, that doom scrolling, that constant need to check for validation from Facebook groups, it's really harmful for your nervous system. And I really recommend, creating a plan, whether that's using the Flora app or a dietitian to just help you get confidence. It can help so much. Couple quick bonus tips I want to share with you. Also, think about keeping maybe a food log for 3 to 5 days. If you're I don't really know what my eating patterns are. Keeping a little bit of a food log can help, because you can see, wow, I went from 1 to 7 p.m. without eating anything. That seems like a really long time. And then I overate at dinner, and maybe I should add a snack in the afternoon. Or maybe you see that you're eating every single hour of the day and you're kind of grazing constantly. And that pattern is also not very helpful for your digestive system. So keeping a log can give you a lot of insight. And then tip I also want to share is just prioritize rest and digest mode during your meal. Tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest side of the nervous system, is an extremely underrated tool to help support your body and digestion. IBS is a gut-brain mediated condition. It is connected to our nervous system. And your gut and your brain are connected via the enteric nervous system. And so when we can take a few deep breaths throughout the day, when we can sneak in a quick meditation, when we can shift our mindset away from this is the end of the world, this is so stressful, to I'm going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. This can wait. When we really try to prioritize shifting into rest and digest, we are then able to digest better. So prioritize a few deep breaths before your meals, a few deep breaths throughout the day to help keep your body in a good nervous system zone. And then my last tip for you is, if you're looking for more clarity on nutrition, don't be afraid to reach out for help, whether that's through the Flora app or through seeing a registered dietitian that specializes in digestive issues. It doesn't have to be with Flora, but really seeking support, seeking help. If you're really struggling, don't wait to do this, because it's so empowering to understand your nutrition needs better and to get clear and to get a plan. If this episode helped you feel less overwhelmed, be sure to share it with a friend. Share it with someone who's navigating gut issues as well, or someone who just might benefit from some clarity on their nutrition. If you have not already subscribed to the Reflux Revolution podcast or my YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe. Down below in the description of this video, I also have a ton of free resources, like a free acid reflux meal plan and a free reflux relief guide, so make sure you check that out. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.